Is Green Book the life-affirming, feel-good movie that the world needs right now? And does it deserve all the awards recognition that it's receiving? Stay tuned and find out. Green Book is directed by Peter Farrelly, and I was really surprised to find out.
Definitely, he directed things like Dumb and Dumber, Shallow Hall, Something About Mary.
I know, like all these comedies, all these silly, goofball
movies.
Yeah, movies and comedies. But here he takes a very different turn in a serious movie that definitely has some comedic tones to it. This movie stars Viggo Mortensen, Mahershala Ali, and Linda Cardellini. Joining me for this review is my brother Jose. Thank you, Jose, for being here today. What's up, bro?
Just here, having fun.
We just saw a great movie.
One of the best.
One of the best movies of the year, right?
Yes.
This film is based on a true story, and it takes place during the early 1960s at the height of the civil rights movement, and it follows black musician, Don Shirley, played by Mahershala Ali. He's a musician who lives in New York, and he is looking to hire a driver to basically take him on this road trip to go on tour, like a concert tour in the Deep South. Yeah. And so he hires Viggo Mortensen's character,
who he plays Tony Lip. White Italian American, from the Bronx.
Right.
He's just there. He's just a jack of all trades kind of guy.
Right.
He's working at a club,
As a bouncer.
Yeah, as a bouncer.
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't have really a career going for himself.
Nothing.
And he kind of has all these odd jobs. It appears. Anything, he's like the go-to guy.
Yeah, he is like the go-to guy of the neighborhood. If you need something done, he's the man to do it.
He's the man to do it.
Yeah.
So he's a very street smart guy. And so right off the bat, you have this odd couple, right?
Super odd couple.
This kind of like sophisticated, very educated and regal black man played by Ali. And then you have this kind of like
up in your face. Like I won't say no manners, but like no regard to what other people think. Just do what
I don't care about what anybody else thinks about me. Played by Viggo Mortensen, right? I cannot emphasize enough, Jose, that this is probably my favorite movie this year. I mean, and when I think back at 2018, movies that stand out in my mind include maybe like Black Klansman. Oh yeah. Definitely Avengers: Infinity War.
And then
I really enjoyed.
Early on the year, Annihilation.
Annihilation was awesome. Blind Spotting, I really enjoyed. But I have to say that my favorite movie so far is this movie, Green Book. It reminded me of like a combination of like Driving Miss Daisy and Forrest Gump, especially.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. Yes, I completely agree. I see a lot of Forrest Gump in this movie.
Yeah.
Just because how rhythmic the serious tone is, but at the same time, there's like comic relief thrown in there.
Right.
Very tastefully done.
Yes, it's a very nicely juxtaposed combination of comedy relief and good comedy, by the way. Well-written comedy.
Yes.
It never feels like forced or fake. It feels very authentic.
It feels natural.
But a movie that at the same time tackles very serious issues, like racism and bigotry.
Social class
stereotypes. But ultimately, it's a story. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful buddy movie, right?
It's a feel-good movie.
About friendship.
Yes.
About true friendship and what that entails, and about family. So I think that it was such a rewarding experience. It's a movie that really takes you on a very emotional journey, emotional roller coaster, and it beautifully captures its time period, right?
Yes, it does.
Reflecting back on this movie, I was so kind of like enthralled by some of the themes in here.
Beautiful themes, by the way.
Yeah, beautiful themes, like, particularly the themes of empathy, having empathy for your friends, even though your friends might be different from you, you can still kind of like walk around in their own shoes and kind of put yourself in their positions. But there is this one theme that really kind of hit home, which was this theme of courage,
Oh, yeah.
Particularly having the courage to, reach out to people when you're going through a difficult time.
So we have two very masterful performances by both these actors, and not only combining these two out of the ordinary characters that are not even close to the social level or anything like that, and just combine them to make a great story.
Man, like these two actors are so magnetic in this movie.
Yes.
Almost impossible to take your eyes off of the screen.
Either one.
For both. Like,
Yes.
I think that the more complex role is, Shirley's role, played by Ali, by
Yes.
Mahershala Ali, simply because there's more layers, I feel, to that character.
Much more complicated.
Yes.
Nothing to throw on Viggo Mortensen's
Oh,
character.
yeah, no.
Whose portrayal of that character is just masterful on its own.
It's
super
spot on.
beautiful, yeah.
He captures that Italian American accent really well.
I mean, the man can speak like 5 languages, so...
Yeah, I know, exactly. I think that part of the draw here is also how these two characters really complement each other. They're foil characters. Their differences really is what makes this duo very dynamic and very appealing. And so, like, for example, there's this one scene where Viggo Mortensen's character is trying to get the Don Shirley character to eat the fried chicken, right? Because the Shirley character, he has very sophisticated manners.
Yes.
He won't touch, fried foods with his hands, for example. But Viggo Mortensen is like, you just need to eat it, man. You just need to get dirty and eat the fried chicken.
Throw the bones out the window.
Throw the bones out the window. That's a good example of what I'm trying to get at, is that there's situations like that make the scenes very fun to watch, but they're different. They're total opposites, in the spectrum of personalities. They shouldn't even be
interacting.
Yeah, you think they wouldn't get along, but they do, and they because of that they make each other grow and become better people.
Yes,
and that's what I love about this movie in the end, right?
Yes. So I do feel that these characters were a little typecasted. Well, not the characters, the actors themselves were typecasted just a little bit, just because Mortensen has played, that gangster type person before.
Yeah, like in Eastern Promises,
and the History of Violence.
That's right.
And Ali has one instance in the Luke Cage Netflix series. He does play that prim and proper villain for the first half.
Very stoic, right?
Very stoic villain. So they were just a little typecasted, but even that, beautiful performances.
Absolutely, yeah. You have a good point there, though.
So this movie actually made me feel like I was in the 60s.
Like you were
just there. I was there. Just
Back to the Future.
Yes, Back to the Future.
Here we are in the 60s. Absolutely. It was amazing to see how the New York, and then
places.
Their journey through the South, through all of the major cities in the South, from the vehicles, the cars, to the costumes, the signs on the road,
the design of everything,
the set designs, everything was very authentic to capture the feel, the setting and the feel of the 60s.
And not only that, the sounds, the music.
Oh yeah, the songs used throughout the movie. Great soundtrack, and I don't know much about Don Shirley's music or the music that he played, but
they had Little Richard show up.
Yeah, Little Richard. Yeah, absolutely.
Aretha Franklin. All big 60 names.
Absolutely.
So it's beautifully done.
This film has pretty much all of the elements that I love in a movie. To be reminded of a movie like Forrest Gump says a lot, I think, that perfect blend of comedy and serious issues, great, majestic acting, in my opinion. I mean, I think that both of these actors are deserving of awards or nominations, especially Mahershala Ali, at least a nomination. And it's a well-written film, beautifully shot. Technically speaking, it's top-notch.
Yes.
I have no complaints whatsoever about this film. I would even call it an instant classic. I felt so good at the end of this movie. It had like a perfect ending, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it 5 reels. I'm going to give it the highest rating.
You know what? I'm gonna give it 5 reels too.
Yes!
I have to. Like you said, this was just you mentioning this brought me back to Forrest Gump. And it's the truth. You can't have that good of a movie, that has the perfect tones, the perfect acting of not just one, but 2 wonderful performances from 2 wonderful actors.
And a movie that has great rewatch value.
Yes, I won't mind going back to the movie theater, watching this again tomorrow.
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't. I would totally go again. Green Book has received a lot of accolades already. Yes. It was voted as one of the top 10 films of the year by the American Film Institute. It was also nominated for Best Picture Feature Musical or Comedy at the Golden Globes. And both actors received nominations.
Yes.
Viggo Mortensen for Best Actor and Mahershala Ali for Best Supporting Actor. Let us know what you think about this film. Does it deserve all its recognition? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And look us up on Facebook at Real Screeners. And also check us out on Instagram, Real Screeners, real.screeners.
Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button.
We'll see you next time. This movie stars Viggo Mortensen, and it follows Don Shirley, played by Mahershala Ali. I want to say Mahershala.
Okay.
It's like a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a
It must
challenge.
be done.